Ever feel like giving your kid a smartphone is kind of like handing them the keys to the Wild West?
Yeah, it is a bit of the digital jungle out there, isn't it? And it's changing all the time.
It's exciting and scary all at the same time. You want your kids to connect with the world and everything, but
Right. These days, it's not enough to just tell them don't talk to strangers online.
exactly. So, luckily, we've got this deep dive to, help us navigate this whole thing. We're diving into 5 expert tips for guiding your child's social media use.
Yeah, it's all about building those healthy habits, those digital immune systems, right?
Okay, so tip number 1, this one's all about setting clear boundaries. Sounds simple enough, but
It's crucial.
it's got to be more than just like no phones at the dinner table, right?
Yeah, definitely more to it than that. It's less about being the screen time police, like constantly on them about it, and more like, more about being an architect of their digital world.
Oh, I like that, the architect.
Yeah, you're
Good.
designing the digital landscape of your home. So one strategy I've come across is the tech contract.
A tech contract.
Yeah, you basically sit down with your kid, and instead of just like laying down the law, you actually negotiate screen time based on things like chores or reading, maybe time spent outdoors.
So it's less about punishment and more about
Exactly.
collaboration and building those healthy habits.
From the get-go.
That actually kind of flows nicely into tip number 2, which is monitor their activity
Mhm.
because now they're spending time online, but it's about being mindful of what they're actually doing.
And I know some parents might feel a little, weird about this one.
Right, like they're spying or something.
Right, yeah. But think of it like teaching your kid to drive. You're not just going to hand them the keys and say, see ya.
Good luck.
Right. You'd be in the passenger seat, giving them guidance, making sure they're following the rules of the road.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the digital world.
It's about being involved, not so much invading their privacy.
Exactly. Have regular conversations. What apps are you using? Who are you talking to? Simple things like that. Did you know most social media platforms even have settings where you can, like, limit location data?
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
It's about empowering them to be safe and responsible, digital citizens.
Exactly, exactly.
Speaking of modeling good behavior, tips 3 and 5 kind of go hand in hand here. Teach online etiquette and be a role model.
Yeah, those are big ones.
And honestly, I got to confess, like sometimes I catch myself and I'm not always as mindful of my own online tone. You know what I mean? Maybe I shouldn't hit like on that snarky meme about parenting.
We've all been there.
Right. But it is a good reminder because, our kids are always watching us.
Always, yeah. It's so important to model that respectful communication and also the critical thinking, right, about what we're consuming, what we're sharing online, and even how we handle disagreements.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, imagine if we treated online disagreements with the same kind of respect that we, hopefully do offline.
Right. Like there's another person on the other side of the screen
Exactly.
with real feelings.
Real people, real feelings, which leads us perfectly into our final tip, bringing it back to the real world,
Yes.
encouraging those offline activities.
All about balance, right?
Exactly. This is not about demonizing technology or screens, but let's be honest, there's a whole world out there waiting to be explored.
It's true.
What are some things that you enjoyed as a kid that didn't involve a screen?
Oh, man. So many things. Building forts, exploring the woods behind our house. I used to love to just read for hours.
There you go. And those are the experiences that really foster that creativity, those social skills, that sense of wonder and curiosity.
Yeah,
And the best part is you can share those with your kids.
absolutely.
It's such a powerful way to connect with them and kind of pass on those values.
So much good stuff in there. It's about establishing those healthy boundaries,
Yeah.
right? Staying involved, modeling good behavior, and just reminding our kids that there's a whole world out there waiting to be explored.
The world beyond the screen is pretty amazing.
So if you're listening to this, think about it. What's one small step, just one, that you can take today to apply any of these tips? Maybe it's just having a conversation with your kid about online safety or dusting off those board games for a family game night.
It doesn't have to be anything huge.
Exactly. Just one small step, whatever it is. Remember, you're not alone in this. We're all kind of figuring out this digital world together, one step at a time.
That's right.
And that's the bottom line.